And welcome to Inside the Trenches. Another Monday night in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Titletown. Another victory Monday as the Crimson Tide gets it done again to head into their second bye at 7-1 overall, 5-0 in the SEC. I'm your host, Gary Harris, and I am joined by the two stars of the show, former Alabama and NFL stars, Wallace Gilberry and Andre Smith, and of course, Rodney Orr from TiderInsider.com and Tider Insider TV. We are with you for the next hour inside the trenches, breaking down everything Alabama, and it is going to be a lot of fun tonight because that game in Columbia, South Carolina, it was some kind of football game, and Alabama came out on the right end, which, as we will talk about, makes all the difference in the world heading into this bye. First, though, let me tell you that we are available on our YouTube channel. We're available on the podcast, different podcast outlets. And, of course, we're live in Tuscaloosa on Tide 109 FM, as well as 1230 AM WTBC and Tide109.com. All right, I mentioned Wallace Gilberry, Andre Smith, Rodney Orr. Let's dive right in because, guys, more so than when you played, more so than 5 years ago, the SEC is a conference of parity. It's a conference of knockdown, drag-out games, and there's no shame in winning in the final seconds against anybody. Even though South Carolina came in with a losing record, they are a very capable football team, a very talented football team, a team that going into the season was expected to contend for college playoff berth, and Alabama found themselves down 22-14 with a little more than 2 minutes remaining. They scored 15 points. Touchdown, 2-point conversion, and then the play of the game was Deontay Lawson forcing a fumble by Lenora Sellers. Tim Keenan fell on it, and Alabama's Jeremy Bernard, who scored the touchdown that led to the tying 2-point conversion, scored the game-winning touchdown with about 30-something seconds to go. Alabama's defense then shut the Tide down, and Wallace Bama gets a win that we know how big that win was. It sets the Tide up for the stretch run, and had they lost that game, it would be an entirely different program for us tonight. It was a huge win for Alabama.
Gary, you hit the nail on the head, man. That was a what we call a trap game. You know, for Bama to come off 4 conference wins and then to go into South Carolina and survive that kind of, atmosphere. I like what Bama's putting down at this end of the year, guys. I love what they're putting down right now.
Dre?
Well, I feel like Alabama, those guys, they really found a way to win at the end, just finding a way to win in an adverse situation. The guy back against the wall, us against the whole entire stadium, and those guys found a way to win at the end was so vital to see and show that growth that they're making, that jump that you want to see mid-season, and show that your guys can finish in any type of way and find a way to win, and those guys most definitely did.
Rodney, we were texting during the game, and let's just be honest. It didn't look good late, but I don't know that last year's team would have won that game.
I don't think they would have.
But this year's team did.
They did. They found a way to win, and I think that's the thing about this team is they're playing together. Andre and Wallace, I want to tell you, on the way over here, I get a phone call from Atlanta. Guy tells me Atlanta group of Alabama fans had a big meeting after the South Carolina game, and they said, we should have lost 4 games this year. And I said, well, why should Alabama have lost 4 games? Well, they've only won by a field goal here and there. The games could have gone either way. I mean, the game has changed. I don't understand fans right now. I'm a little frustrated because the game has changed. The difference now is the teams that are winning the close games and the teams that aren't winning the close games. That is the difference. Okay, Ohio State, I don't know what Ohio State's doing, but who are they playing? Look at the competition that Alabama's playing week in and week out. Alabama just had an unprecedented run with wins over Georgia, Vanderbilt, Missouri, and Tennessee, 4 of the top teams, not only the SEC, but in the country. And I mean, I don't understand what people want. I'm a little frustrated.
I hear it.
I'm with you on that, Rodney. I'm with you on it 100%.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, again, it's I said this on my television program that you look at the teams that are 0-4 in this league, Wallace, and the teams that are 4-1 or 0-4 or 0-5 and 1-4 versus 4-1 and 5-0. There's not that much difference. Honestly, there's not much difference between Alabama and Auburn. The difference is Alabama's won those close games and Auburn hasn't.
Figuring out how to win. Yep. Alabama's finding a way to win those close games. In 07, and before Shula got there, before Saban got to Alabama, that was our Achilles heel. We couldn't figure out a way to win those tough games. LSU, the Iron Bowl, 5 years in a row. That's what the Alabama teams have to do. We have to figure out how to win those tough games. And Kalen DeBoer's figured it out, guys. I'm here to tell you. They figured it out. Yeah, and that's going to be critical down the stretch, too. Dre, you set yourself up, okay? You're 7-1, 5-0 in the league. You got 3 straight home games coming out of the bye. LSU, who just fired their head coach, Brian Kelly. Oklahoma, which is suddenly not playing that well. And then obviously Eastern Illinois. And then you go to Auburn for the Iron Bowl. What do you think of the chances that the Tide finishes it out with 4 straight wins and goes to Atlanta with an 11-1 record?
Oh, the likelihood is I think it's very high. I think the guys, like I said, Coach DeBoer is doing a tremendous job motivating the guys week in and week out and finding a different way to win. One week maybe defense doing a great job. One week maybe offense having big plays or finding a way to run the ball down the opponent's throat. But these guys have really bought in and did some tremendous stuff. And I can just see the growth in the offensive line. Those guys are finally starting to gel a little bit. It was tough to run against that defense. It is the SEC, and like you were saying, Rodney, fans have to understand that the parity in the SEC is so close with the defense, with the teams being so close to each other. And as far as like the level of talent, you have 5 stars going here, 5 stars going there, and then it really just comes down to those guys finding a way to make those teams gel. And like you said, the competition is really close, and for Alabama to go in and get a win was really, really tremendous to see. And I think they could finish the season really strong also.
Rodney, Coach DeBoer said something after the game. He said, I'm not sure we'd have won this game early in the season, but you learn through experiences. And Alabama's learned how to make plays. Like you said, this is what it comes down to the SEC. Can you make the critical plays at the critical times? And I wasn't there now. I was watching on television, but you never sensed any panic. You never sensed that they didn't believe they were going to win. And let's be honest, winners find a way to win. We saw it in the Texas-Mississippi State game. Losers find a way to lose. Down the stretch, Alabama made the plays, and South Carolina, quite frankly, still had a good chance to win that game. And Lenore Sellers, who played terrific, gave up the football.
Yeah, here's the thing, too, and Wallace said a trap game, and it was because you've played the 4 teams that you've played, that you beat, and now all of a sudden you go into South Carolina, gets a downtrodden team. And here's the thing. It's what I heard all last week talking to people inside the building. This is a tired football team. Mentally, physically, they were gassed. They were gassed last week to the point where my understanding is Kalen DeBoer made the decision, hey, we're going to back off the intensity in practice this week a little bit to kind of help the guys get back to their, physically, get back mentally to where they need to be for this game. So, the key was to try to get through this game. And no, Alabama did not play well. They did not start well.
They got through
They
it.
made a lot of silly mistakes. They had opportunities that they missed. But like Wallace just said, they got through it. They found a way to win. And guess what? Alabama's been winning games like this for years and years and years. You can go back to however far you want to go back. I can tell you about games that Alabama won, whether it was the 94 Mississippi State game, the 92 Mississippi State game, all of these games that they've won down the stretch late. How about 2017 when they won the national championship? You could go on and on and on with games that Alabama's won in clutch moments. And that's just another example.
All right, we take phone calls on this podcast since we're live on the radio, and not many podcasts do that. 205-339-4953, 205-339-4953, and we're going to get to a phone call here in just a moment. But first, Wallace and Dre, I want to ask you guys, did it hit you during the game that your former coach, Mike Shula, was calling plays for South Carolina? And I'll be honest with you, we expected to get South Carolina's best effort. I thought we got Mike Shula's best effort as a play caller. He lets Norris use his legs after – Ryan Williams dropped the ball on 4th down. That would have been a first down. Very next play, they quick change. They go over the top and hit the bomb for 6. What did you think of the job that Mike Shula did calling plays? And when you were watching the game, were you thinking, hey, man, that's my old coach. He's dialing him up pretty well today.
Yeah, that's my old ball coach. Even when Shula left and went to Carolina with Cam Newton, he did some special things up there in Carolina. So Shula's always had a good trademark of getting quarterbacks in position to be who they are. And he let Sellers wide open. And you could tell Shula wanted that game. I think that was my first time actually seeing him on the sideline, if I'm not mistaken. You know, he was down there coaching his tail off. So, I mean, that right there showed me how much he wanted that game. But at the end of the day, you know, it's Bama over everything. But it was good to see Coach Shula back in his element. What about you, Dre? Did you check him out? I know you guys had to play that earlier that day.
Can you hear me now? Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
Man. You know, I was excited to see Coach Shula, you know, in that tough environment, you know, being able to dial up plays to make his offense be successful, to put some pressure on Bama's defense, you know. He's a great coach at the end of the day. Like you say, he did some great things with Cam Newton. Even while he was in New York, he did a pretty good job also.
Sure.
But I think, you know, like you said, it's Bama over everything. I think, like I said, Coach DeBoer, he knew the pulse of the locker room. Like you said, Rodney made it good. The guys a break this past week, and then be able to come out and find a way to win. And you said, like you said, Wallace, they got through, but like you said, they found a way to win at the end of the day, which is most important in the SEC. You know, it's on to the next. Fortunately enough, we got a bye week this week, and then everything else is gonna work its way out.
But Dre, is it really such thing as a bye week? Let's be honest. We both played in the big SEC and big. Is it really such thing as a bye week? Let's be honest.
Well, let me
Coach DeBoer, you know, being a little different from the West Coast. You know, we experienced that. You know, with Coach up in Cincinnati, you know, Coach Lewis, we got to understand we used to be hard all the time, but you know, once we got to that recovery phase, you know, being able to take care of our body, do the right things, get the massages, make sure you do your walkthroughs at a good clip, at a good pace, you know, that led to us doing really well in 2015. So I think Coach DeBoer is more along that line as far as making sure he, like you said, know the pulse of the locker room and then be able to read the guys and make sure they're able to play their best on Saturday.
Where was you at with that, Rodney?
Yeah, I was just going to say what they're going to do this week is, and I'm sure a lot of the things that Andre just laid out there, but also they've got 2 practices on Wednesday and Thursday. That's the normal schedule that they've had. I know fans, you know, are out there asking before the Georgia game when they had the off week. They were like, are they even going to practice? Are they going to prepare for this game? Well, yeah, they are. This is kind of their standard procedure in the off week. I guess I'm sure they have a ton of meetings and the things that they do. There are a lot of different kinds of preparation other than being out there on the practice field. But they are going to practice Wednesday and Thursday. And then it's a light week from the practice standpoint. But this is standard procedure the way they do it. And then, of course, they'll hit it full steam starting on Sunday heading into the week.
Let's get to a phone call, guys, when we've got Ken with us here on the Inside the Trenches.
Hey, guys, roll tide.
Roll Tide.
Hey, Ken.
Roll Tide, Ken.
We got you know, Bama fans got to understand this. The SEC is NFL light now. They're going to be close games. If you look all across the league, there's going to be close games every week. I mean, Texas had to come back win in overtime where Mississippi State choked. You had, you know, a 7-point victory for Vandy. Missouri really outplayed them head and shoulders, had probably 130 more yards total than Vanderbilt did, and Pavia didn't look that great. I thought Bama played, you know, a B-, C+ game. I thought that they missed some throws. There were 7 drops. You know, some of those drops came on 4th down, 3rd downs that would have extended the drives and could have put us up, you know, 24-6, 28-6. But, you know, I thought South Carolina played hard. That place was rocking. Everybody's, you know, Bama's everybody's Super Bowl anyway. So the thing I think Bama fans have to get through their heads is all these games are going to be competitive now. And the good thing is, I don't know that, you know, we still got to watch the rest of the season, but DeBoer's good in these one-score games. You know, he's got his track record. Go back and look at 23, the year they played for the national championship. All of his games were basically one-score games, especially down the end. I saw a lot of improvement. On the defense, I'll say this, and then y'all can further, you know, talk about it. But on the defense, besides giving Sellers 18 carries for 67 yards, the other guys carried the ball 19 times for 38. That's only 2 yards a carry. I thought we pretty much locked in on that run. And a couple of he was so big, he escaped from Lawson and, you know, a couple of the big D linemen twice at least. So I thought it was pretty good. They played 4 ranked teams. They go on the road. They come back in, have a a tough game. They're beat up, physically, emotionally. You guys know that, Wallace and Smitty.
Yeah.
Dave.
All right, thank you, Ken. Great thoughts there, Wallace and Dre. If you want to react to what he had to say.
No, I mean Ken's on point. That's probably one of the best calls we've had other than Nana since the show started. But now, Ken, I'm gonna agree with you. The defenses, I like where we were at the whole game. I like, and that was a defensive minded game because again, those trap games, the defense, it falls on the defense. We have to give the offense time to go through all those ups and down lows that they go through during those type games, and we did that. And Lawson came up big for us. All week I was saying we need that predator guy. We need that one guy on the field that everybody's trying to figure out where he is. And Lawson Saturday was that guy. So again, Ken, that was great assessment. I like exactly where you were at with it.
All right.
Y'all got a great show, and roll tide, guys.
Thank you so much, Ken. We appreciate you. All right. You mentioned all of you have talked about the bye. Bye aside, just where this team is at right now. And we'll hold on to that. We're going to get to break. When we come back, I want you guys to just kind of speculate, because that's what it is. We don't know what's going to happen. But as I said earlier, it seems like Alabama has set themselves up beautifully to be in position to win an SEC and national championship. We'll get into that. We're going to hear from some of our terrific sponsors, 205-339-4953. If you want to join us inside the trenches, we're on Tide 100.9 FM, 1230 AM, WTBC. Our YouTube channel is up and running. We've got the podcast going. So a lot of different ways to listen and watch us. We'll be right back with more Inside the Trenches after this.
Labor Day has come and gone, but the best beach days are ahead of you on the Alabama Gulf Coast now through Thanksgiving. No one wants to work on vacation, so let iBeach Service do it for you. They'll set up your chairs, umbrellas, and canopies every morning and take them down every evening so you can soak up the calm, the sun, and the peace you deserve. For more information, you can call us at 251-504-0097 or visit us online at ibeachservice.com.
The Law Tigers is once again giving away a custom-built Crimson Tide motorcycle to one lucky fan. This one-of-a-kind bike is a tribute to your favorite team and was built by Area 51 Customs. Go to crimsontidebike.com now for your chance to win.
The fall is a great time to come have a ball at the beach. This is Hunter Harrelson, owner of Beach Ball Properties, letting you know that we have dozens of great condos and houses waiting for you to come down and take advantage of reduced rates, less traffic, no waiting at restaurants, and the beautiful fall weather here in Gold Shores and Orange Beach. Check us out at beachballproperties.com, on Facebook, or call us at 251-968-8896. If you have an investment property, I would love the opportunity to discuss how we can be the best owner-friendly deal on the coast. Come have a ball at the beach.
Hi, I'm Marty Lyons. When I come to Taco Casa, I always order the 2 and 2. 2 Sanchos, 2 enchiladas.
And I'm Wilkin Forby. And when I come to Taco Casa, I always order the Fantastic Four. 4 Sanchos, 4 enchiladas, 4 tacos, and 4 burritos.
Taco Casa is always made with the finest ingredients and made fresh when you order. So whatever the size of your appetite,
there's always something delicious waiting for you here at Taco Casa.
Taco Casa, under the biggest cactus in town.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Hey, it's Chris Stewart, and it's tailgate season at Townsend Honda in Tuscaloosa. Roll up to the game in a new 2026 Honda CR-V. Get as low as 2.99% APR, plus 3 years of complimentary scheduled maintenance, and we'll make your first payment up to $500. Shop TownsendHonda.com for the best selection of Hondas and certified pre-owned vehicles, all backed by the Townsend Certified Warranty. Townsend Honda, Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa, where every new Honda comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. 0.99% for up to 36 months on select new 2026 Honda CR-V for well-qualified buyers with free credit through Honda Financial Services. See dealer for details. Offer ends 11/3/25.
It's Macy's Friends and Family, the best time to kickstart your holiday shopping with big savings on our best brands like DKNY, Hugo Boss, Karl Lagerfeld Paris, and more at 30% off. Plus, take 15% off Valentino, Gucci, and more top beauty brands. Or Star Rewards members can earn $20 in Star Money for every $100 spent on eligible brands. Going on now, only at Macy's Friends and Family. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Yo, what you doing?
Shit, we're finna go to dinner right now. What's good?
Oh, I was just calling to tell you good night because I was finna get ready to go to sleep.
Oh, I appreciate it, dog.
Yeah, I was just because I didn't see you earlier, so I was just calling to let you know good night now.
Thank you. I was talking to people about you today.
You were? Did you say I was good at football or no?
Well, yeah, I just told them you were my best friend. So.
Oh yeah. Well, why you didn't call me and tell me good night, or were you just waiting until you were wrapping up your night?
I was waiting until I was going to bed.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it then.
Okay.
When you gonna be back?
I'll be back on Sunday.
All right, bet. I'll see you Sunday.
Okay, see you, buddy.
All right, good night.
Good night.
W quarterback, man. W quarterback.
Football is back. Join former Alabama standouts Wallace Gilberry and Andre Smith alongside Tiger insiders Rodney Orr and Gary Harris every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. Central as Wallace and Andre take you inside their time in the Crimson and White and in the NFL. Come along as they give you an inside look into the Crimson Tide and more. Catch us Monday from 7 to 8 Central on Tide100.9.com and TigerInsider.com and all your social media platforms for Inside the Trenches.
All right, you heard Ryan Williams, Alabama wide receiver, calling Ty Simpson, Alabama quarterback, and wishing him good night. That, on social media, guys, I thought that was I hate to use this word as a 61-year-old man, but that was cute. I thought that was cute. I thought that was – look at Dre laughing. I thought that was funny. Dre, what did you think about it?
Yeah, it's good to have a good relationship with your quarterback, the guy that got to get you the ball, So if you felt like he had to check on him before he went to sleep, kudos to him, for sure.
Wallace, you got a comment on that? Did you ever call one of your teammates and wish them good night?
Nah. I never called one of my guys and wished them good night, but that was a wholesome moment. You could tell what kind of guy, and like Dre said, what kind of relationship those two guys really got. So that was good for them to give us the inside look of on their relationship. That's pretty cool.
I like the way you described that. We need more wholesome moments. God knows, Rodney, there's a lot of unwholesome moments going on.
Say that again.
That was that I like that. That's two guys that care about each other, and we know this. It's an X's and O's game when you're in the meeting rooms. It's a game of repetition on the practice field. It's a game of making plays on the field, but it helps, doesn't it? Former Alabama and NFL players, doesn't it help when you really have a genuine like and concern and love your teammates as opposed to a team where, yeah, you may perform, but there's not much happening off the field. This football team seems like they are close on and off the field.
I mean, without a doubt, man, Tuscaloosa is only so big. It's only once you've been there once, you've been there twice type deal. So those guys have to find ways to bring excitement to each other and want to hang out. So I'm all for it. And Dre knows, just like anybody else, every week is a new team. A lot of people don't realize that because you see the same coaches and the same players, but every week is a new team. The coach might have went through something personally. Your star players might be going through something personally. So you got to find a way to get those guys' engines going every week. And so it's good to see that in this time of the year. It's good to see that.
Rodney, I was saying before the break that you still have work to do, obviously. And as we've said every week on this podcast, you lose a game, it changes everything right off the bat. But the more you win, the more you set yourself up for something special. You've gotten to the bye. And listen, the Florida State game counts. I mean, it still counts. It's a loss, but it hasn't impacted this team because what they've done now, if they go ahead and take care of business, that Florida State loss is just literally just a little bump on your nose that you just popped and moved on from. But anyway, they got a chance to do something special now, Rodney, but you have to be able to close out. They talked about finishing games. Now you got to finish out the season. But this team's in a position to do what so many Nick Saban teams did, and that's compete for a national championship.
I like where they are right now. I mean, look, they went through a gauntlet. We talked about right after the Florida State game, we said there was a daunting gauntlet coming up. That's what we wrote on TigerInsider.com. Now, today we wrote that, hey, now you're in the bye week. You've gone through a large portion of that gauntlet. And when you look now, and again, I'm not underestimating any team left on the schedule. LSU, they're going through a lot of things right now. They're in disarray. Brian Kelly's gone. All of a sudden, they're making coaching changes, right? So they're in a difficult situation coming to Tuscaloosa. But when you look at the upcoming games, LSU, Oklahoma's going to bring a great defense in here. No doubt about that. Then you have to go to Auburn. But I think when you look at these remaining games, you think, okay, now you can see where Alabama's in great position. These games they seem more manageable now than maybe what they did 6 weeks ago. And again, I know they're going to be difficult, but yes, I agree with you, Gary. I think Alabama's in a great position in terms of the regular season to finish really strong. And we'll see what happens. Go to the SEC championship game playoffs. You know, all of a sudden you're starting a new gauntlet, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you get into that, you know, those playoffs, it's just another gauntlet that you're going to start. But right now, yes, I agree with you. They're in a great position.
Dre, you were in this position in 08. Wallace, you were in it in 05. When you're in a season like this and you got a chance to do something, do players talk about it? I mean, I know coaches are saying, you know, focus one game, one play at a time, all that. I get it. But do players get together and talk about winning a national championship?
I mean, back then, national championship really wasn't on our menu. But you don't talk about anything like that. You go to Bama for these type of occasions. This is why you choose to go play at Big Bama. Everyone knows that. Even back in 05, 07, that was the statement then. And Dre and those guys just picked it up and elevated it, you know. So I'll let him, you know, speak on the elevation. But I think there's not a guy to look to the left or right and say, hey, are you ready to go to battle today? I mean, that's a gimme.
Did you talk about winning the national championship though, Dre? Did that when you got to be 9-0, 10-0, 11-0, 12-0?
Oh yeah, we most definitely, you know, had conversations about it amongst the offensive line. You know, me, Antoine Caldwell, you know, Mike Johnson. You know, we most definitely got to talk about, you know, having the opportunity to play in the big stage and play for a national championship. You know, unfortunately, we lost to Florida in the SEC championship, but going into those big games during those seasons, there was like anticipation, like, yeah, man, we get this victory, we're that much closer to being where we want to be. You know, Coach Saban from day one, he always talked about being the best that you can possibly be at every opponent during the game. You know, just trying to be out there and give your best, you know, every opportunity. You know, so just for us, it was very close in 2008 to getting it, but you know, we fell short. But you know, most definitely championship talk was there for sure.
Hey, Andre, I've got to ask you this because you look at the running game right now, and you know, they had 70-something yards in this game. Of course, Jeremy Bernard has a 25-yard run there at the end. But the running backs, you know, Daniel Hill carries it 3 times. Jam Miller carries it 10. You know, they're just not running the ball really well. The offensive line, can you tell anything up front? What's going on? What's going wrong, maybe? And I will say this too. It's not all the offensive line. I think there's times when the running backs, the vision isn't there. They're not hitting the holes. They're not creating the opportunities, you know, by the way they kind of decide to do things. They're indecisive. And this too, I will say while I'm saying that, I saw Daniel Hill cut behind a block by Brailsford on the corner. Great vision, okay? But it just seems like there's times when they're missing holes or they're not seeing things. And I just wondered, from your perspective, Dre, are you seeing anything on the offensive line that maybe tips you off to something going wrong?
I just think, you know, the guys, you know, like we said, we're still gelling, you know, getting to know each other. A lot of transfers, you know, the transfer came in from Texas A&M. I think the most important thing is getting up to the second level. I think we're not getting up to the second level to the linebackers the way we need to. I think the running backs are getting spooked by maybe seeing a helmet in the gap, you know, not wanting to press the hole, getting spooked by a defender, you know, being in that gap they want to hit. But, you know, as a good running back, sometimes you got to make a guy miss, you know, make the offensive lineman right. So I think it's just come down with guys getting their reps down, continue to push forward, continue to work hard in practice, get that timer down. I always feel like a running back committees can be difficult because no guy really ever gets their stride. Once a guy starts to get hot, then the new guy comes in, then that guy starts to get hot, then another guy comes in, then that other guy has to get hot again. So I think it is that a guy, one guy or two guys, maybe 3 at the most, get back there and get a 3-headed monster rotation going and just really go at it. And the offensive line, you know, we just have to take pride in, you know, straining more on our blocks, making sure we're blocking throughout the through the echo of the whistle, you know, make sure our guys are making plays. And like I said, I think the most thing is working up to the second level, whether it be the guards, the tackle, even the center. Just making sure we're working on those combination blocks throughout the week, and make sure we take out progressions from practice into the game throughout the week for sure.
Wallace, Dre said something there I thought was interesting, in that sometimes you're not going to block every guy. I mean, it's not going to be every play's not going to be perfectly blocked. Sometimes a running back's got to make a guy miss too in the hole. And then, I mean, I don't know that Alabama's running backs right now, and again, they've had some of the best that ever played the game come through here, but I'm not sure that these guys are necessarily making guys miss enough so that if field opens up and they can get those big runs. What are you seeing as a defensive player?
I mean, the same thing Dre said. I mean, as a defensive guy, we know how to trick that running back by throwing that hat in that gap. Because like Dre said, you got some backs are skittish. You got some backs that see that hat and they want to run through it. And I just feel like we don't have a running back on our roster that wants to run through guys' face masks. And those are the guys that hit the hole 10 miles an hour and turns into a 20-mile-an-hour launch pad. And so that's what I would like to see. I would like to see, instead of stutter stepping in the backfield, just hit the hole, hit it with intention and purpose, and whatever happens. Those are the kind of, and those are the plays that break. When a guy hit a hole and get on the second level, that's when Dre said you got to make a guy miss and become a football player. So, and I mean, I feel like the holes are there. I like the way our O-line blocks. I like the way that they don't get on different levels. They always on the same level, pass and run. So I like that part of it. I think Dre probably can give more insight on that aspect. But I like what our offensive line is doing. I just don't like the fact that our backs aren't necessarily hitting that hole, 5-10 miles an hour from the handoff.
Rodney, I get the sense that all three of you agree that Ty Simpson's playing at a high level. This wide receiving core is deep. Cuevas, the tight end, is a playmaker. The running game appears to be the one area of concern for this offense moving forward.
Look, I think if they have a running game, they can create a lot of balance. Gary, I think they can be unstoppable. But right now, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on Ty Simpson to make every single throw.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really is. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of Bryce back in 22.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was on Bryce. And I just think if you can, create more of a run game, and they do some things with the passing game, I think that helps, kind of not having a great run game, but I do think that is important.
And that's what to me.
Dre, Rodney, go ahead, Wallace.
No, I was just going to say that's what made Ohio State so dangerous last year with the running back that they had. They went to Cleveland and the receiver they have now. If you got an RPO in college football, your chances of winning, go through the roof. And so I like the Hill kid. Don't get me wrong. I like what Hill is doing. And I like to see him get more touches. To me, because he's that ball forward back. Every time he gets the ball, to me, he's falling forward. He's dragging guys along with him. So I would like to see that guy get more carries. But who am I?
That's what I was going to ask you,
Wallace. I like him as a receiver too.
Absolutely, I like him. Period. Right. We talked about him. We actually talked about this guy right before the season. He was our back. We did it. I like him. I like every time he get in, he makes positive things happen. I like that about a running back.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to follow up with. Ryan, you mentioned the lack of carries, and guy, listen, I think we all say Ryan Glover on the goal line's got some beautiful plays, passing game, diverse routes, but are they committed enough to the running game? Are they sticking? Are they staying with it?
Yeah. Well, no, listen, they carried it 13 times in this game. Jeremy Bernard got some key carries. And look, I really thought this, and I know you're probably going to talk about it. I think the play with or using Caden Proctor in different ways is fine. But I really thought when they got down on the goal line in this game and they put him in the backfield, I thought, okay, now the time is to use him as a decoy.
Right.
Because they're expecting him to get the ball. Use him as a decoy right here.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
And I thought it was a wasted down. I really did.
Wallace, I worry that, if you use him too much and your running backs are thinking, man, they're using the wide receivers in the run game. They're using an offensive tackle. Give me the ball down on the goal line.
What about me? Where's my lunch? Where's my lunch?
Where are the running backs?
Me and Big Smitty had this conversation just this morning because I was asking him, I said, hey, man, I know you're not a jealous, hard-hearted guy, but, Caden Proctor, he's a prominent figure in the offense. And Dre's exact word was, I was a decoy sometime because now it's to the point that people know he's getting the ball. And that's not a good synopsis to have.
Yeah. Yeah. But Daniel Hill down there could be a real sledgehammer for you. But I want to say this. Gary mentioned this, and I really do. I think Ryan Grubb in those situations, he's been fabulous. With the way the plays inside the 10, he keeps you on your feet. I mean, the play that he had against Georgia to close that game out, he's got some really good calls in his pocket.
He's in his trick bag.
And he's not afraid. He's not afraid, Wallace. I mean, there are a lot of offensive coordinators. You're down on the goal line there. You're not going to be running a play with the receivers tossing it back to the quarterback, and they'll be like, man,
a lot of trust for sure.
Yeah, a lot of trust. You're right. A lot of trust, Dre.
Yeah, a lot of reps, doing training camp, doing the spring, being able to trust those guys in those situations. And they built that up for Coach Groves to be able to call those things. And they've gone out and executed it week after week after week. So, we're going to continue to see those little tricky concepts to come up during times in the game for sure.
And how good is Jeremy Bernard? All of you can. I mean, this guy.
Better than I thought.
I mean, he I guess he's faster than he looks because people have tried, but he can run it. He can catch it. He can throw it. He does everything for this team.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal athlete, in certain situations, like Coach Saban say, you don't think play, you think player. He's become that player, that we can put in tough situations. He's going to make a good decision, whether it be catching the ball, throwing the ball, running the ball, He's become that type of dynamic athlete for Alabama, and he's only going to get better. His draft stock's only going to get better, I'm sure they're going to come up with some new type of, like I said, concept for him to be able to impact the game in some type of way. Like I said, whether running, throwing, or passing.
Dre, what do you think of Bernard coming here from Washington with all of these great? Is Wallace still there?
Yeah, I'm here. You got
okay,
me.
Wallace. What do you think of Bernard to come in here from the University of Washington? And he was a good player there, but they had those 3 NFL draft picks. But he's no this. I don't mean this disrespectfully to any of the other wide receivers, and we know Ryan Williams is gifted. Bernard is the best. I think he may be the best offensive player outside of Ty Simpson on the team, but certainly, in my opinion, the best wide receiver. What do you think of him?
I mean, you can definitely tell, Gary, that he's more comfortable in the offense than any player on the offensive side of the ball. You can tell that he was familiar with the offense before, but his call came back too smooth. You put the X, the Y, the Z, halfback, quarterback. He's smooth with every transition. So a guy like that only tells you that he's comfortable with the coaching staff. And so having a guy like Jeremy Bernard on our staff to mentor the Ryan Williams and the Laws and all those guys, you need that guy in your locker room. You need him, and we have him.
Okay, this is a good opportunity for me to ask Wallace about his favorite topic. He always breaks down the defensive line for us, both technique-wise and just in terms of results. What did you see from the defensive line in the South Carolina game?
I saw guys playing together. I saw guys believing in one another. That's probably the first game that I saw as far as the running game. Each guy had purpose and intensity attacking their gap. We played good up front. We used our hands. We bottled up the running back. We didn't give the guys much options. Like Dre was saying earlier, we put hats in the gap. And when defensive guys are putting hats in the gap, it makes the quarterback, running backs, all those guys kind of skittish and nervous. And it gives your defensive backs and your linebackers time to come in and hone in and make those tackle for losses. And so when you have a guy like Ty Lawson playing so great behind them, Overton, all those guys, Keelan and all that, they can, up front, they can let their head backs a little bit and relax and have fun after the passer. And that's what they did. I liked it.
And Wallace, the play late by Lawson, because at that point you've tied the game, but you're thinking just hold South Carolina and let's get this thing to overtime. And instead, he goes in there because Sellers is so big and strong. This is when it worked against him. Sellers is fighting. He's down basically, but he's fighting for extra yardage. And Lawson got in there and ripped that ball out, man. That's the play of the game.
It was 100%, Gary, and it was a heads-up play. I mean, you got big Keelan. Keelan could have easily threw the guy to the ground and laid on him, but he wanted to keep him up because he knew like I was just said, those guys they know that we are getting this ball out, swarm defense, and that's what we saw. It was when Lawson came in, he didn't go in and knock the guy out. He came in and ripped the ball out. And that was a heads-up play. Let's turn this ball over, get it back to our offense, and seal this game. And those guys did exactly what we thought they were going to do, Gary.
All right, Dre and Rodney and Wallace, we'll start with Dre. There's not controversial, but South Carolina made a decision late in that game. Once Bernard got the first down, they decided to go ahead and let him go and let him get the touchdown. You could have probably shoved him out of bounds there. And their thought process is, well, we'll go ahead and give them the touchdown so we can get the ball back. But they didn't have any timeouts. I would have tried to make the tackle and try to take it down and force Alabama to kick the field goal.
That only works if you have timeouts in your back pocket.
Right. Wallace, instead they gave up the touchdown. And I mean, if you never know what's going to happen on a field goal. Bad snap, you could block it, he could miss it. Were you surprised that they let him score?
I was deadly surprised because again, I went back. I thought they had a timeout left. I thought, okay, maybe they have one timeout left. I mean, they were already behind the 2 minutes, so I mean, there was nothing left for them to do. So I'm like you, Gary. It's a defensive guy. Coach, put it on my back. I mean, if they're going to go 4 downs, make them go 4 downs. So I definitely thought that was a bonehead mistake on the D coordinator, whoever made that decision. Because if you have timeouts, I mean, you can kind of like you said, you got time to put it back in your offensive hands and make something happen out of that. But they didn't have no time to do anything, Gary.
Dre, what'd you think?
I guess they thought they were gonna get the ball back and move the ball against our defense. You know, and like I said, our defense, did what they
have been moving it the whole half.
But I'm talking about the closing at the end when they let the guy run up the sideline. I think they're gonna move the ball against our defense and score really quick. But I know I think it was like a pretty wild thought to let a guy just run free up the sideline, not pushing him out of bounds, so that you're able to, like you said, Rodney, get a chance to block a field goal, maybe a box snap. It's still an operation that has to go on. It was
such a bad call, Dre. I thought the guy was out there point shaving.
You're not the only one, Rodney. That was all over the internet.
I thought it was point shaving.
I know you were surprised because we were texting about it. I mean, I'm forcing Alabama to play it down to the wire. First of all, if they, somebody else said, well, they might score a touchdown with a few seconds to go. Who cares? You might also force a fumble like Alabama did, or you might force the field goal attempt.
Anything can happen.
If the game's tied, you got to play it out.
Well,
right?
I agree with that. I mean, they didn't have any timeouts. And here's the thing, too. Beamer said he told Shula, look, we got the best player on the field, Lenore Sellers. Let's get him back on the field and let him take us down and get some points. That's what he decided to do. But here's what I thought, Gary. Listen, and I'm not knocking anybody, but Connor Talty has not been in that situation before.
Ever.
The Alabama place kicker. And I know he's been good inside of 40, but he's missed some kicks. I know. I think if you're coaching on the other side, you need to know the competition. And you need to know that kicker, he's not been in this situation before. Maybe we block it. Maybe we block the field goal. Maybe he shanks it. Maybe he misses it. So I think I would have forced them to kick the field goal.
Well, I was happy when they let Alabama score the touchdown in that situation. I didn't want it coming down to final second play. Hey, Wallace, we got to get to timeout. Before we go to break, give you an opportunity, as always, to say something about the show. People want to get involved in sponsorship situations, anything you got going on in that area.
Absolutely. You guys, we actually appreciate all the calls you guys are giving us every week. The show is getting better and better. We're looking forward to taking this thing throughout the year. Law Tigers have agreed to ride with us up to next year and beyond. Beach Ball Properties here locally. We're giving away a condo. We're going to announce that next week, how we're going to start laying that out. But there will be a 3-state condo giveaway from Beach Ball Properties here in Orange Beach, Alabama, for a 3-night, 3-state weekend here at the beach at the Gulf. So I'm excited for that. If you want to get with us, just 9272@gmail.com, Inside the Trenches. Just let us know how you want to connect, and we'll connect and come out and even do some personal appearances. So just let us know, and we'll love to bring you a part of the show.
Absolutely. All right, we'll be back with the final segment of Inside the Trenches right after this timeout.
The fall is a great time to come have a ball at the beach. This is Hunter Harrelson, owner of Beach Ball Properties, letting you know that we have dozens of great condos and houses waiting for you to come down and take advantage of reduced rates, less traffic, no waiting at restaurants, and the beautiful fall weather here in Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. Check us out at beachballproperties.com, on Facebook, or call us at 251-968-8896. If you have an investment property, I would love the opportunity to discuss how we can be the best owner-friendly deal on the coast. Come have a ball at the beach.
The Law Tigers is once again giving away a custom-built Crimson Tide motorcycle to one lucky fan. This one-of-a-kind bike is a tribute to your favorite team and was built by Area 51 Custom. Go to crimsontidebike.com now for your chance to win.
Labor Day has come and gone, but the best beach days are ahead of you on the Alabama Gulf Coast now through Thanksgiving. No one wants to work on vacation, so let iBeach Service do it for you. They'll set up your chairs, umbrellas, and canopies every morning and take them down every evening so you can soak up the calm, the sun, and the peace you deserve. For more information, you can call us at 251-504-0000 888-866-8097 or visit us online at ibeachservice.com.
It's Macy's Friends and Family, the best time to kickstart your holiday shopping with big savings on our best brands like DKNY, Hugo Boss, Karl Lagerfeld Paris, and more at 30% off. Plus, take 15% off Valentino, Gucci, and more top beauty brands. Or Star Rewards members can earn $20 in Star Money for every $100 spent on eligible brands. Going on now, only at Macy's Friends and Family. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Football is back. Join former Alabama standouts Wallace Gilberry and Andre Smith alongside Tiger insiders Rodney Orr and Gary Harris every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. Central as Wallace and Andre take you inside their time in the Crimson and White and in the NFL. Come along as they give you an inside look into the Crimson Tide and more. Catch us Monday from 7 to 8 Central on Tide100.9.com and TiderInsider.com and all your social media platforms for Inside the Trenches.
Yeah, I'm from Big Bama. You're not the little one. We got smoke for anybody that wants some. Yeah, we don't do no yapping.
Final segment of Inside the Trenches for this Monday night, October 27th. Another victory Monday in Tuscaloosa. Alabama's won 7 games in a row. And that opening game loss at Florida State just seems like a bad memory. It just seems like an outlier. This team, thankfully, has turned out to be everything that we thought they were going to be in the offseason when we were hearing glowing reports. And, you know, that game happened, but since then it's been Bama all the time. I do want to ask all you guys about this because it all starts with the head coach. And, you know, there was a time under Saban when you didn't play too many games like Alabama played the other night. I mean, most of those games in the SEC, other than against the really top-tier teams, were usually blowouts. Let's be honest. I mean, there were a lot of games that were 42-0 at the half. But now we've talked about the way this game in the SEC has gone, and you got to be able to keep your head in close games. How much does it help, Ronnie? I'll start with you. That Kalen DeBoer, his 2 seasons at Washington, especially that last year when they made it to the national championship, it was just like this. Every week, they were playing a game down to the wire, and just like with this Alabama team, they came out on the right end. That experience, even though it was in a different conference, he keeps his head in these situations.
Yeah. I mean, no, I agree with you 100%. And I mean, that's kind of the way the SEC is now. So he's kind of accustomed to playing in those tight games. His track record is he's won a lot of those close games, Gary. The year that they played for the national championship, they won several games by 1 score.
Just about all of them.
Yeah, just about all of them, you know. So, you know, he's really accustomed to that.
1-score games, Wallace. We've been talking about it in this league this year. That's the difference between being where Alabama's at and being at the bottom. Like, you know, look at Mississippi State. Everybody thinks Mississippi State's a laughingstock. Should have beat Tennessee. Should have beat Florida. Should have beat Texas. But they didn't. And this coach that Alabama has, Kalen DeBoer, is comfortable in these tight game situations.
And not only is he comfortable in them, Gary, he's coachable in them. You know, he's coaching through these games, and that's what I've been seeing. Like, I mean, true enough, everybody, you know, we want the yelling and the charisma that, you know, Saban displayed all those championship years, but that's just not who DeBoer is. We can't wish that on him. We see who he is, and he's proven, even that, like you say, even where he came from, that he was proven. You know, Michael Spinks, a great quarterback, but you give a guy like DeBoer better talent, just sit back and watch what he's capable of doing. And that's what we're doing, guys. We're sitting back watching what this guy's doing with these 5- and 4-star guys that he wasn't, you know, getting every day of, you know, so I'm excited. I'm excited for him. I believe in him. And I like where he has our team mentally at. We don't think we're the big dogs. We're coming out every week and playing football. And I like that.
Dre, I'll say it again. Alabama scored 15 points in the final 2 minutes and 16 seconds of that game. That's impressive.
Yeah, you know, high power offense, you know, it doesn't take long for you to get down there, you know, just take a flip of a hat, you know, we could be scoring down there with the type of guys, like you said, Wallace had. Coach DeBoer didn't have these type of guys, you know, when he was at the University of Washington, you know, but having these 4- or 5-star guys come in, buy into what he's doing, you know, there's more than one way to win, you know. Coach Andy Reid does it one way, Coach Bill Belichick does it another way, you know. There's always a way to win. Both of them are phenomenal coaches and have done a great job in their area, you know. Coach DeBoer is finding a way for these guys to come out, be motivated every Saturday, and they're playing lights out for them. And even in tough situations, these guys are finding ways to win, and that just attributes to him and the confidence that he's installed in them and the way that they bought into what he's been teaching them each and every week.
Yep, my Gene Stallings said the fun is in the winning. Guess who? Hey, guys. Go ahead.
Hey, Gary, hold up, Gary, before we go. Hey, Dre, I want you to explain some of that hardware you got behind you, bro. What's that? What's that to your left and right back there, man?
Oh, that's my SEC Hall of Fame award right there. Yeah, that's my Outland trophy right there from back from 08.
The Outland trophy.
That was
I
awesome.
got that a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
Sure.
the Outland trophy, brother. That means you were the best. You were the best interior offensive lineman in the entire country.
Yeah.
I thought Crap say I was the best, but you actually have the hardware to prove it.
Hey, you know what the great John Hannah said about Andre, don't you? Andre, did you know what John Hannah said about you?
No, I don't. Tell me.
He said you had the feet of a dancing bear.
Oh yeah, I've heard that before.
He did.
Yeah. That's what Mal Moore, RIP, AD Mal Moore, he said the same thing.
Yeah.
He was always talking about how good my feet were to my dad, a couple of my peers around me for sure.
Unique athleticism. All right, guess who's on the hotline?
Oh, don't you tell me.
Hit her, bring her on. Hey, Nana.
Hello?
Hey, Nana.
Gary,
Yes, ma'am.
let me speak to my boo.
Go right ahead. The floor is yours.
Hey, Miss
Wallace,
Nana, how are you?
I'm good now that I'm talking to you. My grandson told me you were my boo.
Well, happy Halloween.
Well, I don't know if that's something nasty. I apologize. I didn't know,
It's
but
not.
he said, "I believe it. I believe."
Nah,
Wallace,
no, ma'am. You haven't broken any rules tonight, Miss Nana. How you doing this week?
It's a good thing.
I'm doing fairly well. I missed you last week.
And that's okay. That's all right. There's always room for the week after next.
I got you this week, honey, and I still owe you my sweet patootie pie. When I get a chance, I'll get it to you.
I ain't mad at you, Miss Nana. I think I'm gonna have to half it with the rest of the crew. They a little jealous when you hang up, especially Big Dre on the left up there. He like to eat pie too.
Well, you can share with all of them. I'll make you a big one, a big patootie pie for long. And I guess I just gonna say good night, boo.
All right, boo. You have a good night.
All right.
I sure will.
Thank
Sweet
you.
dreams.
Thank you, Nana. Yeah, no, nothing wrong with you, Nana. That just means somebody that you have a lot of affection for. So I think that's
right.
I think that's an appropriate comment. And boy, tell you what, wouldn't be inside the trenches without Nana. So hard to follow her.
Classic.
She loves.
Classic.
Hey, no offense to Dre or Rodney or me, but she loves her some Wallace now.
No, I told her, Wallace, you had a whole girlfriend, but she didn't care. She said he didn't put a ring on it yet. She's only 74 if you like it.
You know, wisdom is important.
Hey, tell Bob he better just put my pie in the fridge for me.
In the fridge.
DC and Steve will probably eat it.
All right, man. We got about 3 minutes to go before we wrap it up. So I guess it's time for a closing thought. No game coming up. We've already talked a lot about the bye, but let me ask you guys as former players, you talked about what the coaches do, but as a player, what did you want to do when you in the season, when you had a couple days to get away? Did you clearly want to get away from football, go fishing, what did you do when you had a break, Wallace?
Absolutely not, Rodney. You want to kind of stay into that. You want to stay in that saddle. You know, it's hard. It's hard. It's like they say when you're riding a bike. Once you get off of it, you kind of get back on the bike and kind of figure out the chain, make sure the chain is loose and all that. So, I mean, me personally, clicking like this, you want to figure out a way to keep those guys locked in. You want to keep them locked in. You don't want to corral them, but keep them locked in.
That surprises me. I thought, Dre, did you like to get away from football for a couple of days, or were you like Wallace, you just wanted to stay dialed in?
Every bye week I ever had while I played in the NFL, I always got away for a few days, just to reset, from the rigmarole from, training camp, then going through the season. Your bye week may be week 11, so you've been played 3 months of football before you even get to your bye week. So just to be
Gary,
able to reset.
Gary, these offensive linemen like to get their hair and nails done. So I mean,
They're
they're different. Yeah.
Yeah, with our cricket hands, I'm putting them on you. Yes, that's why we have to get them done. That's why they look like that.
Get those things out my face. That boy held me for 2 years, Alabama.
Hey, if you like a offensive line coach told me one time, if you ain't holding, you ain't trying. That's what I was told.
Thanks.
Gary, Rodney, before we go, you guys always give me and Dre praise. I want you guys to tell our fan base what you guys are doing. Tighter Insider, your show, Gary. Let them know where we can find you guys at throughout the week.
All right, sure will. Real quickly, I'm on the radio Monday through Friday on time, 100.9 FM, 9 to 11 with the Gary Harris Show. In fact, tomorrow I got you guys' former teammate Corey Reamer on with me in the morning.
Oh wow!
He's now doing sidelines. Yeah, national champion doing sidelines for Crimson Tide Sports Network. Tighter Insider TV. Rodney will join me for that tomorrow night at 6:30, and that is a really popular show. Of course, I got my nightly sports cast, and I've got Football Friday nights from 10:30 to 11:30. So I'm full. Yeah, thank you guys. And of course, Ronnie's got. Let Ronnie have a minute here to plug. This is by far the most successful standalone website in sports history. There aren't many of them left, period. Tighter Insider is the most successful standalone sports site football team in the country.
It's an anniversary, too. It's your anniversary, right?
Oh, that Wallace. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So 29 years ago, we launched Tighter Insider. 29 years ago today.
Wow.
And I told the story on Tighter Insider. Andre and Wallace, when I was writing the business plan, I literally was sitting at my kitchen table and I said, this is stupid. It's not going to work. I almost quit, but I listened to that voice that said, just sit down and take the next step.
All right. Perfect way to close it out. He took the next.
Hey, Rodney, before you go, Rodney, tell them where they can find your book at. Because I ordered me a copy.
Bigger than Bama. It's available on Amazon.com, or you can go to rodneyorr.com. You can find it there, all the details. I know we're running out of time.
All right, guys. Thank you. Great show tonight. It's available wherever you get your podcast, and we're back next Monday night to preview LSU, who doesn't have a head coach. They've got an interim. That's going to do it for Inside the Trenches. Enjoy your Monday evening, everybody.
Roll Tide.
Gone, but the best beach days are ahead of you on the Alabama Gulf